Well, hello there. Here is my frog and toad mug that I painted at one of those pottery places. Oh my god! I have a big pit stain. I didn't even notice. Hi guys, it's Dustin. So as some of you guys might know, I'm moving to LA at the end of summer, and a few weeks ago, I flew out to LA to apartment hunt. So here is the LA apartment hunting video, plus a little vlog, because I did vlog a little bit on my trip as well. So I guess we should start with the criteria I was looking for in an apartment. This was probably my #1 essential, was parking, and with that, assigned parking. I don't know why, but so many apartments in LA do not have parking. They usually only have street parking where you have to just park randomly on the street at whatever spot you can find, which I definitely did not want to do. One, that's not the safest thing in the world to just have your car on the street, but also it's LA. Parking is actual ass and impossible. So I just didn't want to have that inconvenience of coming home and spending 30 minutes trying to find a parking spot. You would think apartments would open up with a parking lot or something, but no, they don't. Just like LA city planning, it's a mess. I was also looking for a safe neighborhood, preferably gated and in a residential area. I found myself while apartment hunting getting drawn to a lot of the residential areas like the east side. The residential and suburb areas just felt more comfortable and homey for me. I think it's because I grew up in a suburb, so I think it would also make it easier for me to transition into living in a completely different city. I also did not want to live in the hustle and bustle of LA. I definitely knew going into it that I wanted to live in a quiet, more slow part of LA. And also the more residential areas were just nicer and cleaner, and honestly, sometimes cheaper. It needs to be quiet, like with thick walls or just a quiet neighborhood in general. I do work from home and I do film videos and plan on recording music, so a quiet space was definitely a requirement. Good lighting, preferably south-facing windows, and also windows that face south get the most direct sunlight, but honestly, I wouldn't mind east or west-facing windows as well, just anything with good lighting. I prefer it to be walking distance to nearby grocery stores, cafes, gyms, just like the everyday essentials that you need. I love biking, and when I move, I want to get a bike, and I just want to be able to like bike to a nearby cafe that's like 5 minutes away and lock up my bike and like sit at a cafe and get my work done. I don't know, I just really like the idea of that. And for it to be in my budget, which is around $1,500. I know $1,500 a month is an insane amount of money, but I actually came into the apartment hunting process thinking I was gonna be able to get an apartment for $1,000 to $1,300, and that was my budget, and I was like, that is so much money, like I'm sure to find an apartment. Well, I was wrong. I quickly learned the average for an LA studio or 1-bedroom apartment is at least $1,500. I'm sure you could find an apartment for under that, maybe like around $1,400, but the general consensus is if you want a decent studio or 1-bedroom apartment, it's gonna be $1,500 or above. So I did end up having to move some things around and raising my budget, but you know, it is what it is. So right when I landed in LA, I had an appointment right away to tour an apartment. Figuring out and differentiating all the different neighborhoods in LA was so confusing just because there's so many different neighborhoods and each one has such a different energy and vibe. So that was definitely a struggle for me to figure out which neighborhoods were good and safe and I should be looking at. So the first apartment I toured was in Pico Robertson. So this apartment was a 600 square feet studio for $1,495. For the first apartment I was viewing, I actually really liked the space. It had good lighting, it had east-facing windows. It was a pretty big space. I loved the color of the wooden floors. I fucking hate gray or cool-toned wood. I hate like the modern renovated aesthetic that so many apartments have now with the gray floors. I just think it looks so sad and desaturated. I way more prefer natural colored wood, and this one had it. The bathroom was pretty nice, the kitchen was pretty nice, there was a lot of room. At the entrance, it had like this hallway, which was nice because that's just more extra space. Usually with studios, it's just one big room, but with this one, it kind of had some separation. It had 2 closets in the hallway, and also it had this kind of empty space on the hallway as well, and this had a door. It was a little bit random, but this door was a emergency exit, so if you exited out, it led to a staircase to exit out of the building. This was on the 2nd floor, by the way. And also if you went through the door and went down, it led right to the laundry facility as well. Random, but like not horrible. Also, if you walk a little bit behind the apartment complex, there's a really nice neighborhood, and in this neighborhood, there's like a Catholic church school thing. And I really liked seeing this because that is a sign that the neighborhood is safe. Also, I noted that I saw people walking their dogs, and you might be thinking, who the fuck cares if people are walking their dog? But I actually used that as a sign to see if the neighborhood was safe or not, because if it wasn't safe, people would not be walking around and walking their dogs around. The biggest problem was that this apartment was right next to a multiple lane busy road. So from the inside of the apartment, you can hear outside with all the cars driving by, and it was just too much noise, and I knew it would annoy me living there, but also for filming. And for that reason, I did not apply to this apartment. Not to mention the laundry wasn't the nicest thing in the world. It definitely was really old and still ran on coins when usually the newer ones run on app. And for parking, it was right in front of the building, so to get out, you'd have to back out onto the main busy road, which was a little bit annoying. The landlord did end up showing me another unit they had available, but it was just not the nicest looking. It was kind of ugly to me. It was smaller and still the same price as the first one. It was on the ground floor, so people can see into your apartment. Also, the floors were like this red toned wood, which I didn't really like. The only thing I really liked about it was the big windows. I thought that was really cool and pretty, but again, people could see in through those big windows. Moving on to the next apartment, this one was near Westlake North. I originally came to tour the studio that they had available, which was $12.95. I don't even know how much square feet it was, but it doesn't really matter because right when I walked in, I knew it was a no-go. The lighting was bad. It was on the ground floor and there was another building right next to it, so it would cover the light a little bit. And there were also just a bunch of random mini flaws. The cabinet wouldn't close fully. There was no fridge, no microwave, and it also had popcorn ceilings, which I don't mind, but in the kitchen area, it would be completely smooth on the ceiling, but everywhere else would be popcorn ceiling. So it was just like this weird texture change, and I just did not like it. But they also had a 1-bedroom available, so I went to go check that out just in case. This was $15.95, so it was a little bit out of budget, but I thought it had a lot of potential. The apartment itself was pretty decent. It had a microwave and fridge unlike the other one, and it looked nice. The lighting was decent, and it was a 1-bedroom, so it was a little bit bigger and had like separation. Granted, it still had that weird popcorn ceiling situation going on. The neighborhood was definitely a little bit suspicious. Didn't look like the safest neighborhood in the world. Not too bad, but not the best. And I didn't like the 1-bedroom that much, but I kept it on my roster just in case for backup. This next apartment was in Highland Park. I really liked this neighborhood. There was like a view of the mountains, palm trees, and the traffic wasn't too bad here. So this was a 500 square feet studio for $15.50. I was really excited to see this apartment because I thought it had a lot of potential. Unlike the other ones, I wasn't really excited, but this was the first one that I actually got excited about to see. Right when I walked in, I loved it. I just really liked the energy and vibes. That sounds so fucking stupid, but like, it's true. I walked in and I just felt good. Not to mention the tenant was super kind. She was actually the one who showed us around the apartment when usually it's the landlord who shows you around. But she was a teacher and she was just super nice and even showed me around the neighborhood and walked me around a little bit, which was so nice. Like no one else would really do that, I feel like, and she did it. And the fact that she's the tenant, she's just the person who lives there. She's not the landlord, and she was willing to walk me around and show me the place and just rave about it. Just showed me that she loved living there and the space was really nice. It might be a little bit hard to tell because the walls are painted dark blue, but if I were to move in, they would have painted it back to white, but the lighting was pretty good. It was a really safe neighborhood. There were people walking their dogs around, and everyone I talked to who lived there only had good things to say. I talked to the tenant, I talked to a few people walking around. Even my Lyft driver who picked me up from the apartment raved about it as well. So the general consensus is this area was really nice. That's a tip I have for anyone apartment hunting right now. Ask other people who live in the building or live around the neighborhood what they think about it. Is it safe? What are the cons? What are the pros? Etc. Also, this building was very tight-knit. It was only 6 units, and also they had like a little backyard area, which was where the parking was, and back there they even had a little community garden. Granted, it was small, but I just loved the idea of having a little community garden. Also nearby there were grocery stores, my bank, cafes. No joke, there was a cafe like a 5-minute walk away. The only thing is that they do not have on-site laundry, which means I would have to go to a laundromat, which honestly was not a big deal to me because there was a laundromat that was a 5-minute walk away. So the laundry situation, although it's not ideal, it wasn't that big of a problem for me considering how much I loved the space already. So I did end up applying to this apartment.
The point was at this time that when I did that, we were speaking about that nothing is really corny if you can find a way to do it.
we ended up going to this cool store and I got myself Adventure Time pillows. And not only that, I got myself a Princess Bubblegum neck pillow. You know I used this on the plane on the way home. So now Bimo won't be so lonely because he has the whole gang. This next apartment was also in Highland Park. It was actually only a couple streets down from the last one I toured. It would have been very convenient to tour them the same day, but no one picks up the damn phone to set up tours, so I did what I had to do and toured it the next day. This was a 1-bedroom for $15.25. This place was pretty nice since it was a 1-bedroom. There was a lot of space, the windows were big, and the lighting was good. But then I found out this apartment had no AC, which honestly ruined it for me. Living in California, you need fucking AC. It gets so hot here, so there's just no way I could live there. Also, I didn't really like the tile flooring, and the bathroom mirror had black scuff marks on it that you couldn't rub or clean off. And the apartment building itself just wasn't the nicest. It was dirty, the staircase was dirty, there was no elevator, and the apartment was on the 3rd floor, so that would have been a hassle to move in. So overall, this was a no-go. Asian squatting. I don't have any more appointments to tour for the rest of the day. I only had one this morning, so I have a lot of free time. I do have a dinner later tonight, but until then, it's only 3 p.m. So I'm gonna go to Melrose and do some thrifting by myself. I think that'll be fun and relaxing. On this trip, which hasn't really felt like a trip because I've just been stressed and looking at listings and apartment hunting. It's just all been apartment hunting, apartment hunting, apartment hunting. That's all it's been. So I think I'm gonna let myself do some retail therapy and enjoy that I'm in LA right now. So I'm gonna go do that. So Lynn left this morning. She was staying with me at the Airbnb for the week, which is really sad because I'm not gonna see her in a very long time, probably. I saw her in DC about a week or 2 ago, and it wasn't too sad because I knew I was gonna see her this week. But now it's the last time I'm gonna see her in probably a few months. But today is my last day. I leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I don't know why I did that. Actually, I do. It was cheaper. Before my last day, I'm going on my last apartment tour. I've been on so many this week. This week has been exhausting. It's just been apartment hunting, sitting down, looking at listings, calling, and that's it. Repeat, and then get food with friends, just so that this trip isn't totally exhausting and stressful. So here we are, the last apartment. So this last apartment was actually an open house, which, yes, I don't have to call anybody and have them not pick up, and then I have to call them 10 more times just to get an appointment. This street and this neighborhood in general was just so nice. There were palm trees and actual grass that was not dead at the front lawns. If you did not know, most of LA includes dead grass and trash. This neighborhood had actual alive grass, and from what I remember, not that much trash, so it was actually nice. Walking in, there was so much space. This was a 1-bedroom and the lighting was super nice as well. Do I remember the square footage or price of this apartment? No, I do not. But it was around my budget. Walking into the bedroom, I was surprised at how much space there was. There was even a big walk-in closet. So pretty much there was just a lot of space and I was like, fuck yeah. But here come the cons. And let me tell you, there were many. First off, this unit was in a corner and it was right next to railroads. And while checking out a place, a train did come by and it was really loud and did last for a while. It was like a few minutes. And after that one finally completely left, a few minutes later, another train came. Is that the metro again? Oh my gosh. There was also like a helicopter or plane or something. What is that? A helicopter now? So in general, that area was just really loud. Also, the upstairs neighbor ended up turning on their shower, which you could totally hear. And in the walk-in closet, where the sound of the shower was coming from, you could see on the ceiling that there was some water damage going on. Not to mention the bathroom was dirty, the bathtub. There was a sliding closet door at the front entrance, which was janky. The wood tops were a little messed up. They had nicks and also mismatched wood pieces. There was no fridge or microwave, and the sink hose was janky as well. Overall, just too many cons that I could not take this space. So, I got rejected from the apartment I applied to. God, I'm so tired of this. I don't want to look at more apartment listings. Apartment hunting's too hard. The amount of time I have spent on apartments.com. Where's my sponsorship at this point? But I got the call a little bit ago that I got rejected from the apartment I applied to. Basically, they had a few other applicants, and on a business standpoint, they had to pick someone else because I don't have enough credit history, because I am 19 years old. I only have about a year of credit history, not even a full year yet, because I opened my credit card a month after I turned 18 or something. I feel like I shouldn't feel sad or like bad about myself since I got rejected, because it is only just an apartment. I know I'm a good person and I would be a good tenant, and I know I'm responsible and all that, and I tried my best. With the amount of credit history I have, I do still have a good credit score. I have enough savings. I even offer to pay a few months ahead. I did a cover letter, which apartments mostly don't even require it, but I just did it just to show them that I am on top of my game, which I fucking was. And I think I made a good impression on the tenant who showed me the place, and I also think I made a good impression on the actual landlords themselves. I did call them multiple times, and we had a chance to like actually have conversation, and it seemed like they liked me. They even watched my videos. Hey guys, if you're watching this, don't feel bad. I'm just a teenager mourning right now. Just got rejected from my first apartment, so makes sense. There's no bad blood. It's okay, I understand. But at the end of the day, I still got rejected, which I think I have a problem with rejection and failing, especially when I know I can do what I am aiming at. I hate when things are in other people's hands. It's okay though, at the end of the day, it's just an apartment. It's literally the only and first apartment I've ever applied to. Give me a day and I'll be over this. But I think I'm gonna take this as a sign from the universe that it just wasn't the right place for me. I guess the search continues. Mission to get Dustin an apartment and move to LA by the end of July continues. Let's go. So you might be thinking, if you got rejected from the only apartment you applied to out of all the ones you just showed us, where are you gonna live? Well, plot twist, I got a roommate. So originally I would have loved to move in with one of my friends, but none of my friends right now are moving. So I kind of took it into my own hands, as I usually have to do with everything, and decided, okay, I'm just gonna live on my own. So I kind of already set myself in the mindset that I was just gonna live alone. But then my friend Michelle, aka at the Soul Search, she recommended that I get a roommate just because you can find a nicer, bigger space for cheaper since you are splitting the rent. And it just makes the whole process easier because you have two people on the team looking for an apartment. And she already had a friend who was moving out and looking for a roommate as well, so it kind of all just worked out. She ended up introducing us, and it seems like we're pretty compatible and would work as roommates. Plus my roommate already lives in LA, so we have someone that is able to actually tour the apartment since I already flew back. So I now have a roommate. Hi, Alice. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to get used to the idea of having a roommate and living with someone who's not my family, just because I was already under the mindset that I was gonna live by myself. And I kind of like that idea of me moving to a big city by myself and figuring out by myself. And I was kind of romanticizing that independence, even though deep down I knew moving by myself, I'd probably end up being lonely and sad, but I was almost romanticizing that and being like, that's part of the process, which I'm like, Dustin, why are you self-sabotaging yourself like that? Also, I love decorating, so I'd have to compromise, and I like having that freedom of being able to just invite anyone over, like, oh yeah, you can sleep over at my place. Which honestly though, I'm now over that, and it's not gonna be a big problem because my roommate is so chill. I did send her my Pinterest board, and she did like it. So, it all kind of just worked out. I dropped a crystal, my amethyst crystal.
Dude, legit, I was like, there's no way.
Already?
Yeah, he called me and he was like, yeah, the owner, we like talked it over and both of your credit scores are good. I think he spoke really well about us. I think maybe my first impression was like really good. So yeah, dude.
I just didn't expect us to like find one so easily and get accepted less than 24 hours. I'm like sus for some reason.
I know.
I guess we're gonna sign the lease tomorrow. We have an apartment.
Welcome to LA.
Wow, thank you.
Bye.
I don't know what to do with myself. So we got an apartment and I guess I'll show you guys it now. Here it is. This is a 1,700 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $2,795. When we first found the listing, we thought it was sus and thought it was a scam because it said 1,700 square feet when all the other 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments we found have just been like 1,000 square feet. But my roommate ended up touring it. It's fucking beautiful. The lighting, mwah, impeccable. There's south-facing windows, and in the bedroom, it is north-facing windows. And even though it is north-facing, it still gets a lot of light. This apartment is 2 stories, so downstairs there's the kitchen area and 1 bedroom and a bathroom, and then upstairs is another bedroom and a living room area. Both rooms had patios, which I loved. I can just imagine myself decorating my patio with like plants and maybe even setting up a little chair and table out there so I can get some work done or eat breakfast or something. And in the upstairs bedroom, which is my bedroom by the way, there's a walk-in closet, there's so much storage, and the bathroom is connected to the room already. Also, this apartment complex is in a really nice residential neighborhood, and it's next to a lot of things like cafes and gyms, and there's an elevator, which I think is gonna be really nice for the moving process. We honestly got really lucky, and I'm shocked and in awe that this apartment is real for how big it is and the price. I would only be paying around $1,400 a month because we are splitting it plus utilities, so maybe around $1,500, $1,450, which is still in my budget, and it's cheaper than the last studio I applied to. Maybe the universe did have my back when I got rejected from that apartment. I'm surprised how easy finding an apartment was, because this apartment was the first listing we found and toured, and it just happened to be amazing. Hopefully it's good. I still haven't seen it in person, but that's it for my apartment hunting in LA video. I hope you guys liked it. I now have an apartment. I'm moving in at the end of July, end of summer, aka a week from when I'm filming this, which is crazy. Holy shit, I'm moving. Are we singing the outro song right now? Yeah? Okay. Was it something I said? Oh, fuck.